Good morning, friends and fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, and this is the morning market preparation video for August 29th, 2018. So, markets pushed up new record highs again yesterday. We had new record highs in the SPY, or new record closing highs, I should say, in the SPY. We had new record closing highs in the Qs, and new record closing highs just barely squeaked it out in IWM. So strong market here, showing strength. But we are showing signs of a little altitude sickness as well. So we've moved up very sharply. And in that sharp move, we could see a little bit of rest. Now, is this just a rest stop, or are we going to open the door for a potential push lower by the bulls to test support? You know, it's fairly typical on a breakout. No one wants to ever see this happen as a trader. We always want the market to go up. But it's fairly common. We move through a resistance level, we test support. So you can see we've moved up nice and sharply here through that price resistance back here in March. And so a little rest or consolidation or a pullback into here would not be out of the question. So what do we do when the market's not giving us any really good clues here as to where the market goes? Well, one of the things I like to do at or near market highs is I like to kind of slow down my trading activity. What that means is I want to be taking profits into the strength of the rally, reducing my risk to a potential pullback. And then I want to be careful not to be over trading as we're up here testing and dancing around, market high levels where a pullback possibility is there. Now, right now, there's really no particular clue that's giving us that reason to suggest a pullback is going to happen. In fact, this could be just a little bit of a rest stop on its way to higher prices to kind of close out this month very strong. So we're going to have to wait and see. And unfortunately, that puts us in kind of a difficult situation. If you've got profits in your account and haven't taken any of those profits, I want you to consider this very carefully and make sure that you're not allowing greed to get in the way of taking a solid profit, just in case the market does dip or pull back. Now, even if it does dip or pull back, that doesn't mean that the world has come to an end. As a matter of fact, what it means is it's normal price action. After a breakout, it's fairly typical for that pullback. So price action would be very normal to come back and test a price support. So remember that pullbacks are just nothing more than an opportunity where we can get new entries and better prices. Pullbacks is where we find those new buyers. So as much as we always want to see it go up, remember, normal price action requires that back and forth movement of the market, testing and retesting support levels, building confidence for traders to step in and take that additional risk for those moves. So watch that carefully, watch that closely, and be prepared. A problem that I used to deal with a lot is I would allow my bias. I want the market to go up, and I would allow my bias to prevent me from seeing what the possibilities were in price action, meaning that I would often rush into the market unprepared for the possibility that it could go the other direction. So make sure you have that plan, that you're prepared to react if the market does move to the other side. And that preparation, to protect your capital, to lock in some of those gains, and to make sure you're not over trading at these high levels. So watch that closely. Let's take a look, a little closer look at the SPY. SPY has moved nicely through all-time high resistance levels and left these gaps behind, which also is a little bit of a concern, leaving those gaps behind. But, you know, it's not one of those game changer kind of things where you just run for the hills when that occurs. But just know that a consolidation that moves us over to the trend, or a pullback that brings us back to the trend, or tests this breakout level would not be out of the question. And it could begin at any time. So make sure you have a plan for that. Market is still strong. Trend is good. There's no reason to believe that the market is ready to turn over just yet. So let's take a look at the Qs. Qs also breakout highs, looking good here, but a little bit of rest or a little bit of pullback to come back to test support or even test trend by a longer consolidation move is not out of the question. So watch that closely in case that does occur, and be prepared if that does occur. And let's take a look at IWM. IWM had led the market out by breaking through resistance first and making those new highs. And when that occurs, we want to always look for those retests of support like we had here in IWM. Now we're showing a little bit of sign of stress here with these doji candles and the possibility of a longer consolidation or even that pullback comes into play. So watch that carefully. Let's take a look at the VIX. Now the VIX is our fear indicator. And we can see even as the market was making new record highs yesterday, we had a little bit of increase in our fear indicator. And that fear indicator starts coming into play when everyone feels like, you know, a pullback could happen, that possibility of that rest period could come in. So watch this. The VIX actually closed pretty strong, bullish engulfing candle off of price support area yesterday. So watch that carefully. If the market starts showing signs of weakness, we'll want to pay attention to that. And currently, you know, if we take a look at what happened overnight, Asian markets closed mixed. European markets are mostly lower. And consequently, our current futures this morning are kind of suggesting a flat open, and they've been bouncing around between positive and negative open this morning. So kind of keep that in mind, that fear could creep in if we don't see that follow through strength, and we could see a little bit of profit taking take over in the market. Not suggesting that that's going to happen, just the possibility exists. Please keep that in mind. Let's take a look at T2122, which is that 4-week new high, new low ratio. And you can see we've kind of been up here toward this bearish reversal zone, but also notice we still have room to be able to move higher. So we may not be done with this rally yet, and that's what makes me think the possibility that this could be just a little bit of a breather, a rest stop in the middle of this move higher. So watch that closely. The reason I'm bringing that up is you also want to be very careful about not becoming overly bearish. There's no signals of bearishness yet in the market. And I know a lot of folks will try to anticipate that pullback, only to get very punished if the market decides to move on higher just to close out the week strong. So watch that close. Now, obviously, we have plenty of room for a downside move. So if the bears start to attack, if they do start to push forward, we have plenty of room for that downside move. So kind of keep that in mind. Let's take a look here at our economic calendar. I forgot to do that yesterday. I don't know why I forgot to do that, but yesterday I forgot to go over the economic calendar. Today, on the economic calendar, right here at 8:30, we have the GDP number. And the GDP number is expected to they're expecting just a tiny little bit of a pullback in the GDP. But honestly, if it comes in like that, I doubt there'll be much market reaction to it. And this is just the second estimate for the GDP number. Currently, it was last month 4.1. They're looking at 4.0. So still very, very strong in GDP growth. Pending home sales are expected to stay flat today. And then we have the EIA Petroleum Status Report, which has been showing a strong build in U.S. supplies. And that's making it kind of difficult for oil prices right now. So be watchful of that. If that continues to show an increasing in U.S. supplies, we could see oil prices falter just a little bit. And it may be a sector to look for. If the market does start moving south, it may be one of those sectors to look for some short trades. So with that, everyone, hey, I want to wish you all a fantastic day. I want to wish you great profits. And if this is the first time you've seen this information, please do me a favor. Click that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me button on Facebook. Click those thumbs up buttons and drop a comment. You guys are awesome, and I really do appreciate all the kind comments. Also, please always feel free to share this video with any friends and family. I want to wish you a great day. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you right back here bright and early Thursday morning. Have a good one, everyone.